For Lina Krylov, exceptional service and providing value to her clients isn't just a promise, it's a lifestyle. With over 1,300 homes sold, 450 million in sales volume, Lina's built a real estate empire, becoming the ultimate resource for her clients. And today, she's giving us her secret weapon on how to build your own custom referral group that meets monthly with vendors and top business owners so you can too. From elite staging consultations and premier contractor coordination to client events that nurture lifelong friendships, Lina leverages white glove service to transform a database of just 368 people into continuous high-value listings, achieving a stunning 95% referral rate. If you're ready to master the art of turning clients into champions and friendships into listings, you're in the right place. Let's dive in with top listing agent Lina Krylov. The one and only listing beast, Lina Krylov, joining us. And Lina, I'm super excited to have you here. We've known each other for, I almost think 16, 17 years or 15 years. I know you're only 25, but it's been a long time that we've known each
20
other.
20 years, Brendan.
Yeah,
20 years.
Yeah. So first of all, welcome to the show and thank you for sharing your knowledge with our audience. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. It's always exciting to be on your podcast. So I love it.
It's going to be a blast. Yeah, we're going to have some fun. Both of us, I think, have a passion for being very just honest and raw. And I think that's what's going to make this a great episode. So as all of our listeners know, we frame our Listing Beast podcast into three categories. How do we provide an exceptional seller experience so that sellers sell for the most money in the least amount of time with the least amount of headache? And in doing that, we are able to secure our value and make sure that we're compensated for doing that amazing job. Number two, we talk about our ambassador database. How are we making people feel special in our database at scale, which of course increases conversion. We don't have to make so many, outbound cold calls. We know that when we have a database that works and we have people that know us, like us, that'll refer business to us, how are you doing that and how are you making them feel special? So we'll get into that. And then number three, we're going to talk about listing lead funnels. How do we get listing leads? And, how are you getting your listings, right? You're doing, 80, units a year and, all these different things. How are we getting the listings and what have you seen working and not working? So without further ado, let's jump into number one. So let's talk about what's unique about your listing presentation. So me and you both have a listing appointment tomorrow. We go on the appointment. You're sitting there. And what makes your listing appointment special? And why should I list with Lina? And what do you do to help the seller?
I think we've actually been on that road.
Back in the day, right?
Where we've gone against each other over the years. But again, I think me and you have talked about this a lot, but I have a niche. So my niche would be, I go in and I think my selling point and my listing presentation is a little bit different because I go in and I'm ready to assist the seller in remodeling their home, getting top dollar, selling in the fastest amount of time possible, and kind of taking the stress of that remodel off their shoulders. As both of us know, most people just don't want anything to do with construction. They're scared of it. They hear these horror stories. They don't even know where to begin. And so, one of the things that I offer when I come to their house to look at their home is we'll walk through and I try to get a gauge for, first of all, do they have the money to do the remodel, right? Is the home in good enough condition to where we're just doing upgrades to get them top dollar, right? I'm not trying to remodel a house that needs to be completely remodeled, right? I don't believe in that. So we could talk about that a little bit more in detail. But what I offer them.
When you say, Lina, like the contract, so you come over to my house, you notice that the house needs new, the cabinets need painted, right? Or something like that. So during your presentation, you're telling the seller either ahead of time on the phone if they're going, hey, we have some things we need to fix up or whatever. But when you're at the appointment, you're assessing the things that are going to make the home more sellable, right? If these things weren't an issue, and then you're communicating to the seller that you're going to coordinate all of this for them, and I think if you could explain to the audience, you used to back in the day. Kind of pay for it. And so talk me through the evolution of what you've learned and who pays So I go, my house needs new cabinets, or my cabinets need painted. What happens?
So, well, let's start from the beginning. So I get to the house, I introduce myself, and then I walk the property, um, and I have them tell me, things that they love about the home. And then as we're walking through, a lot of times they'll mention, I don't say anything. I used to come in and just rip their property apart, and I lost a lot of listings doing that. But as we walk through, they're going to mention like, oh, well, a bathroom needs remodel. We know that, or this needs to be done. We know that. And I always say, hey, let's walk through the property, and then we could sit down and we can discuss if we want to go the repair route or if we want to sell as is. Okay. So that's kind of, and usually when I'm sitting there, I have a pretty good idea of, before I get there, like where I think the property will sell as is.
Okay.
And then, if they have a lot of times they'll have these grand ideas of what they want to do. And, I almost have to bring them back down to reality, right? Like, we're not remodeling the kitchen in this market, right? Okay. When it was a hot market, yes, we could do a lot of things, and we could usually double the money that they put in, right? On resale.
Yeah. You put $1 in, you get $2 out. Right now, you put $1 in, you might get $1.10 out. Maybe is that kind of what you're thinking, or maybe not even the dollar back out.
Maybe you're getting that dollar back. Hopefully, you're getting that dollar back, right? So,
okay, right.
So yeah, so a lot of times I'm actually talking them out of doing these huge remodeling projects, right? Because actually, I learned this from you, but we want to get them on the market, right?
You can't sell it. You can't sell it if it's not listed.
Right. So I don't want to commit myself and them to a 6-month remodeling project, which is redoing all the bathrooms and redoing the kitchen. And then I think when they see what the cost is, even with my discounted pricing, right, through my contractors, I think people would truly be shocked what it costs to put in a new kitchen, new cabinets.
And let's talk to that too. So to break that down in a real speed kind of a scenario. So you said a lot of keywords in there, Lina, which was, first of all, I go in knowing what the as-is price is. So let's just use for this hypothetical. You go in and you think my as-is price for my home is $500,000. And then I'm the seller and I go, you know what? If we could paint the outside of the house and redo the cabinets, I really think that my house would be worth $550,000. And so is it counseling through that and going, well, now talk me through this conversation. So let's just pretend that was the scenario. So Lina, I think we could easily get $550,000 like Susie did if the outside of the house was painted and I, took these cabinets from brown to white. Is that kind of what happens?
A lot of times, yes.
Okay.
So, as you know, but I will break it down for you. There are certain repairs that will help a home sell faster, right? But you don't really get a return on, right? So one of those being windows. So when I come over and a seller tells me that they put in, pillar windows, I'm like, oh God, because I know they just spend over $100,000 on windows, and they will never
add that right onto their price. And they're like, because we got new Pella windows, we were going to list at $800. Now we want to list at $900. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that happens a lot. Unfortunately, everybody loves those Pella windows, but they're not paying you $1 over what the comps are. Okay. Right. So same thing goes for me. I think exterior paint really makes the home look better. And, as far as curb appeal, but I don't think that if you're spending, 7, 8, 10 grand on exterior paint, I don't necessarily think you're getting that 7, 10 grand back. Gotcha. Dollar for dollar. Gotcha. So depending on what it is we're trying to do will determine how I address their resale amount, right?
Gotcha.
So I'm still going to go over the comps, and I'm going to go through in detail. I usually like to print off like colored pictures of the comparables, so I could go through and really in detail go, okay, well, they have granite or quartz in their kitchen. You see, they painted the cabinets. They have stainless steel appliances. They have, so I really get into the nitty gritty of the upgrades.
Okay.
Because clearly just them painting the cabinets and painting the outside is not getting them an extra $50,000.
Right.
So this is where in this market, it's a little tricky. because it's hard to explain to somebody that they're selling quicker and they're getting a higher price. Like I had a client recently where we put in, I think, 26 grand to remodel her house. And, no basement, one of the smallest houses in the neighborhood, like significantly smaller than all the other
just to
ones.
pause on that, Lina, when you say we put in 26 grand, she put in 26
Oh,
grand?
she put in 26
Okay, I just wanted to
grand.
make sure, so the audience is going, that we'll get back to that, because I just want to make sure you used to front the money, right?
Correct.
Okay. Why? And we'll go back to this story in just a second. Why did you decide to stop fronting the money?
This is not the market for it.
Okay, so it's market specific.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And in the market where we were getting 100 grand over list price, I'd front that money all day long. Right.
Gotcha.
But in this market, if they don't have the money, then I don't feel comfortable putting it out there. I think it would cause more.
So if they don't have the money, it's either sell as is, which is right, what they got to do, right? And that, or if they have the money, what I think we skipped over too is like, they're getting your discounted vendor pricing because you have this, because you do so many fix and flips yourself and you do a lot of rehabs and all of that. You kind of have this special Lina pricing, right? That you're passing on to the seller. And that's a big point that you explain. And the time, because, right, if they wanted to do this on their own with their own contractors with another agent, just finding somebody to do the cabinets could take 6 months. But you're helping them expedite the speed. So the value that you're providing is, I coordinate, you get it cheaper, and you get it faster. Is that a way of summarizing it?
Yeah. And I also do the design, right? So they're not having to, like, literally I go pick the tile, I pick the countertops, I pick the cabinet colors. When my contractors sometimes show up and they'll be like, what color do you want to do? And my clients will say, just call Lina. Like, they don't even know what's going into their house.
I want the color that sells it for the most, right?
Correct.
Is the color. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think, that's a big plus. But going back to that story with the lady, that where she spent $26K, when we had to do a price reduction to make this house move, because Luck had it 2 other properties bigger, got listed same day as hers. So, kind of changed the numbers a little bit. But, she told me at one point, like, I spend all this money and I feel like if I didn't spend that money, I could have gotten this number. And I was like, well, where are you getting that from?
Right.
Like, realistically, your as is number was going to be $50K lower. So you still made an additional $20,000, right? But that's hard to explain to a seller, right? Because so I really, as the market has softened, I really have them do the bare minimum, if that makes any sense.
That does make perfect sense. Yeah, because as we said, it is just because there's not when there's low demand, right, and there's high amount of inventory, we're trying to make sure that you can stand out just enough to get you to sell. You're not going to get that extra icing on or cherry on the top, as you said, when there's these multiple offer situations, buyers, and it's of course market specific, but it just depends on what kind of market we're in. So back to our scenario, I go, Lina, if you were counseling me as the seller, I go, we really want to paint the exterior and we want to paint the cabinets. You would tell me, you would look at the comps and you'd go, well, in this neighborhood, painting the exterior, it will help you sell, but it's not a big piece of this. Unless they're going, what if they just go, we're fine with painting it and we still want to sell it at 500? Then are you still going painted, or how do you have those intricate conversations guiding them through it? Or is it just kind of, from experience?
A lot of it I know from experience. And again, also to remind you, and I know you know this, but 99% of my business is referral.
Right.
So these people, when they're reaching out to me, there's already a rapport that's been built through my clients that, have most likely sold through me, bought through me, have made money by my suggestions. So
Yeah,
So
they've
they
done.
kind of,
Some of these people have done fix and flips with you. I mean,
right.
it used to be a huge, RE. No, not used to. It's just not a lot of REO as much as there was. But some of these people bought like foreclosures from you, right? Like, and
Yes,
now
and
they're
made
selling
millions.
them and making a lot of money, which is happy for them. But well,
Yeah.
not as much as maybe
So,
they were.
so
But
for that scenario, if we're painting the cabinets, for example, um, and let's say we're replacing the carpet. Like I just had one of those that I just put on the market, right? So I came through, property wasn't in bad shape. It was a rental. So it's like, how do we spruce this up? Because the inventory in the neighborhood, there's like 13 other townhomes in this particular development for sale, right? So at that point, I'm going, okay, well, we have to do something to stand out in pictures, right? So it's not even necessarily like, hey, if you do these things and you spend this $8,000, that you're gonna get 10,000 back. It's that you're actually gonna go under contract.
gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That's really helpful. Okay. And so now they go, great, Lina. Thank you. Obviously, a lot of these people know you. They like you. They already trust you because they've you've been in their world. I'm going to go two different places with this because I want to go. How are you doing this amount of volume from a 99% by referral business? What's the secret sauce in your world of why do people keep coming back to Lina, and besides your amazing charisma and charm and beauty and all of that, how are you making people feel special at scale so they continue to work with you? And why do you have so many ambassadors?
Well, you put one person in a trunk and the rest of them get scared to use anybody else.
Mm.
No,
Mm. Very,
I'm just,
very good method there.
no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You're like, there's a lot of gunpoint involved. Yeah, I love it. I know what it feels like to want more listings, but it's really hard when you don't know where to find them, how to list them, and how to get them sold in the first weekend. That's why today's episode is powered by listingbeast.com, the proven certification program that's helping agents like you get more listings, make more per client, and receive endless referrals from raving fans. If you're serious about earning $100,000 a month every single month from listings, head straight to listingbeast.com and book a call with my team to apply. Now, back to the show. But no, you do a lot of things. Like I think over the course of a 12-month period, you probably do what, 60, 70 client touches? I mean, or thereabouts, or 50 at least. I mean, how do I know that when it's time to sell, I should call Lina?
Well, with the Brendan Barty coaching that I've had over the years.
Go on.
And you've beaten it into my head. But so we do somewhere between 32 and 46 touches. And
which is a
we
lot.
we do client appreciation parties, which are huge for us, right? So at least 4 client appreciation parties a year, and some of them are pretty big. So we do, we've done Dave and Buster's, we've done Top Golf, we throw parties at my house, we do Easter, egg hunts, right? And so we try to come up with different events throughout the year. And
are they all family oriented, Lina, or is there some like? Sometimes we throw a banger Halloween party just for adults. Sometimes we're doing Dave and Buster's so we get the kids, or is it all kind of family oriented all the time?
Since I have a kid now, it's more family oriented. Before it was not. But I also try to do, so we have a couple of different things going. Like I think about a year and a half or 2 years ago, I started a referral group. So all these contractors that I refer are also in my referral group, right?
What does that mean, a referral group? What is that? Just so I understand, or the audience understands.
So we meet once a month, and it's, anybody who I refer business to or that refers business to me or should be referring business to me. So in that particular group, we have a lot of contractors, we have a lot of attorneys. Divorce attorney, estate attorney, any kind of attorney you can actually think of like family law. We have insurance agents, dentists. I mean, pretty much anybody that owns a small business that's been a client of mine is in this group.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So that's a huge nugget right there. And you coordinate all of this as far as time, location, who's on the invite
Yep.
list. Okay, it's all done by you.
Yeah. So they pay a minimal like $100 a year fee, so we can like provide coffee, and we meet like the third Thursday of every month.
Wow.
And yeah, and again, everybody in that group gets referred by me. Some of the people are more like beneficial to me than others.
Sure.
For example, my divorce attorney, will refer
Like we say
clients.
ambassadors, and then there's like super ambassadors.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then a state attorney, those are good people to have in there, because like the other day we got a referral for somebody that, passed away and their family needs to sell one of their properties. So these are different like lead generating sources, right?
Right.
There's CPAs in there, which are usually a good source of referral as well, right? People go to
So
do their taxes.
let's go back to how you started this. So did it start with like 2 or 3 people, and you're like, hey, every third Thursday we're going to get together, or was it right out of the gate? Like, I think you're probably saying what now? It's 10 to 15 ish.
It's probably 10 to 15. Well, it's 15 to 20 people.
15 to 20.
Yeah,
Did it
some
start
have
that way?
come. Yeah, it was a lot of people to begin with, just
Okay.
because I do refer so much.
Sure.
And so I think people were like gun ho on being in the group, because it's one person for every trade, right?
Love
So
that.
like I don't have 2 plumbers in there or 2 electricians. It's, so people want to be in there.
So to start this, you came up with the idea. I'm sure you probably, learned it from another agent somewhere along the way, or just came up with it on your own, not giving you credit for it. I've heard other people do versions of this, but it's so smart. So when you started, you go, okay, I'm just going to send an email and go, like, if I wanted to do this, I'm out there and I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I want to start a referral group. Talk me through it as if I'm going to start my first referral group in Lincoln, Nebraska. What would I do first?
So go through your database, okay? Figure out. So that's one of the things that I'm very good at, is when I work with somebody or somebody is in my database, I know what they do, right? Like, I want to know if they're a small business, how I could help them grow. That's a natural thing for me. I found out it's not natural for a lot of people.
Yeah,
And
you're a connector. Yeah, you're a connector
yes,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, oh, you paint houses. So like my painter that I've used for years now, called me to sell his house because I sold his neighbor's house, right? And so the first thing I do when I go over there, and I'm like, what do you do? Like, how can I help you? What do you do? Right. And I already had a really good painter at the time. And so, sold him a house. And then I thought, well, let me try this guy out. Right. Like, now he's a client of mine, so I want to try him out. And I did. I tried him out on a few jobs. He did a great job. He matched my other guy's pricing. And so I started, rotating them. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so know what people do. Know what your clients do. Put a little effort into, making either a mental note or in your CRM. You put notes in there. This guy owns a car dealership. This guy is an
pizza
attorney.
shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever it is. Okay. So you went through the database and you said, okay, out of these people, if I wanted to create my Avengers, right? My I've got Captain America, Spidey Man. You got all these people that you're kind of making to this referral group. Was there people was there people where you were like, nah, not going to make the list? Like, there was people obviously that you maybe came, because for example, let's just say that, yeah, was there any decisions there of going, even though this person is a really good this, I think they're just going to irritate the group? Was there any decisions like that? Or is it just kind of, you knew who your all-stars were and you wanted to put them all together?
I think that that's funny. I gave a lot of people a chance, and like I said, some people have rotated out
I got you.
naturally.
Okay.
And I don't, and so people understand. I think it's funny. It's actually took John explaining this to me, because he's like, you refer people naturally. It comes natural to you. People like, because I get frustrated at times where I'm like, I've sent this guy like, 20 referrals and,
Nothing.
I haven't,
Right.
nothing, right?
Nothing back.
And not that I like, he does a good job for my clients. So, there's value in that. But John's like, not everybody thinks like you. Like, that's not, you assume like everybody's on the same level as you, right? Because like I could be like in a restaurant and somebody's like painting my kitchen, and I'm like, I'm a painter, and this, but like it makes me feel good because I'm growing their business.
Yeah, you love seeing other people. You love seeing people succeed. I mean, I know that you've been that way for the whole time I've known you, and it brings you like pure joy to go, I'm going to hook you up. We're all gonna get hooked up together if we're smart about this. But don't let me keep hooking you up and then you never reciprocate the hookup.
Right, and so I've come to kind of peace with like, at least if they buy their house and sell through me, that's enough to be in that referral group. Because like I said, I think I'm slowly kind of getting to the point where I understand that people just aren't like that, right?
Right.
But one of the coolest things I saw in that group in particular is like, even people within the group, because they're all small business owners, it's kind of cool to see how they've connected, right? So, and like, you don't even think about it, but like, for example, my dentist, her daughter was getting married, right? She needed a prenup. My divorce attorney, their law firm, does prenup. So it's like interesting to kind of step back and observe that putting a bunch of successful small business owners in a room, how things just kind of happen.
I love it. This is just awesome. So take me back. So I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska. I want to start my referral group. First thing I do is I go through my database. I pick out the 15 to 20 professionals that I think would be really sound to be a part of this referral group. What'd you do next when you first started it? Did you know that you were always going to charge $100? Did that come out of the gate, or did that evolve over time? Like,
no, I think that's just kind of like what we came up with. We figured we're ordering coffee for every meeting, and that, does it cover it? Probably not. But that was kind of something that we figured people wouldn't be like, oh,
sure.
Like, it was just something to make them make.
Yeah, somebody's got to bring the donuts to the AA meeting, right? It's like, it's like, I've never been to one, by the way, but I'm just saying. But so you called everyone up and you said, hey, you guys all want to meet, or so let me go. I know I may sound simple, but how'd you just determine the location of where to meet? What was the first location, and has it changed now? Does it change over time?
So at the time, my office was in DTC.
Gotcha.
So it was at my office, right? I had to make it somewhat convenient for myself.
Okay.
We did it at 8:30 in the morning.
So 8:30 at your office once a month.
Yep. Third Thursday of every month.
Third Thursday. Perfect. And then, so you called everyone up. You said, this is what I'm looking to accomplish. I want to put this on your radar. They either said yes or no via phone, and I'm sure you emailed them as well because you had to send them the location to where they were going to go. And then, so the first meeting happens and 10 people showed up. Talk me through what happens at the meeting. Like, you go, hey, everyone, welcome. What do you do and how do you get down? Like, how does the meeting structure?
Yeah, so everybody, obviously goes around and introduces themselves and like kind of like what they do. I told them to bring some swag with them, to give out.
That's a big piece. People. Okay, so tell them to bring swag. Okay, and swag, you mean like if they've got notepads or keychains or Yeti cups or coffee cups, anything that they can do to spread their magnets. Okay, that's great. Okay, that's a big tip there. So bring swag. All right.
And then we figured out who we had in the group, and then we figured out as we had a few meetings, like who we needed in the group, right? Like everybody's like, oh, hey, we need a good CPA, right?
Okay.
So then it kind of opened up, like if you had somebody you thought would be a good fit for the group, send me their information. I would reach out, they can come to one meeting for free. And then if they wanted to join, they would have to pay the fee.
Okay. So you're the host, but it's really like a collaboration when you're there. They're not feeling like I'm going to Lina's referral group, or do they feel that way? And Lina's the head of the chair, right? She's the president
I'm
of
the
the
head of the
board.
chair.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure that's clear, like that. So you're kind of directing the entire thing, but taking their input.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, they're my
Sorry,
bitches.
just wanted to make yeah. Well, and so should they be, because I mean, obviously, as you said, they're all interfacing and getting more business from this in some way or another. Okay, so 8:30 every Thursday, I show up, I bring swag. Meeting starts out, I introduce myself, they all introduce themselves. What happens the rest of the meeting? Anything?
So then, we kind of started. So we have this guy named Josiah in our group. He does our roofing, right? And so he's also one that I will like refer to my clients to go do a free roof inspection, especially living in Colorado with all the hailstorms, right? So I always like to ask him, like, because there's so many changes going on with homeowners insurance, so he always gives us like the scoop on what's changing, what should we look for as far as when our clients are getting coverage for their homeowners insurance. So kind of like if anybody has anything like up to date that they think would be helpful, a lot of
like
times
here's what's changing in my world, right?
Correct.
Like we like you said, maybe the dentist is like, you know what, now we're doing, I mean, yeah, every dentist is doing weird stuff now. It's like you can get a paraffin dip and you can have back massage I mean, pretty soon I feel like I'm going to the dentist just to get a full spa day, at this point, right? It's like so it's stuff like that. They're going, here's another cool way that we're seeing different things happening in our world, and I want to share with the group. So that's kind of,
and like the CPA will give us like a quick thing of like, do this, don't do this. The IRS code is changing, or the estate attorney will say, hey, they're trying to get rid of inheritance, tax up to this amount. So everybody kind of puts in their 2 cents, my lender is obviously always there. And so, if there's any kind of changes about the rates or anything like that. So we all kind of just
it's really like a business mastermind.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Okay.
And then we created a Facebook page because I got tired of playing babysitter and texting and calling people, reminding them of the meeting, which you would think that, business owners would know when the third Thursday of every month is. But I found myself having to people weren't showing up and I'm having to text them and remind them. So then we just created a Facebook page. So now Olga and I will just, put a post on there. We tag everybody and we'll say, don't forget, there's a meeting on Thursday.
What's the group called? Not so people can search for it, but just like so people know how to name their own. Is it called?
Oh, Colorado's Top Referral Group.
Ooh, Colorado's Top Referral Group. I love that. So yeah, I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska. So a lot of key elements in here. First meeting, get them all there. Skip back past one thing. Because of office location, obviously, I'm sure you were trying to get it in a geographical location. Do you do it at anybody else's office? Does it ever rotate? How does that work?
So since I moved, and most of the people are more like DTC, like closer to my old office.
For those listening in Colorado, it's like a suburb of Denver, right? Just to try to explain. Now you're in Denver proper.
Yep. And so now we do it at my lender's office because it's more central.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's a key note, right? Is make it central, make it easy, because if it was inconvenient, they probably would be like, I ain't going to drive 45 minutes to go to this referral group. So you're also probably thinking in your database strategically, and I'm sure people make the drive. I'm not saying they won't, right? If they want the business, they're going to make the drive, right? But you're trying to keep it consistent that way. Okay, so I'm going to go through my database, 15 to 20 top professionals in each category, obviously, from lawyers to doctors to dentists to roofers to HVAC to plumbers to electricians to whatever it is. Never have more than 2 of the same style of business.
Just one. I only do one.
Yep. So that's a big tip. Only have one. Anytime they're coming to a meeting, bring value and swag if they want to share with the other people at the meeting. Then they're going to give updates on what they do, how they do it, what's going on in their world, and insights that might affect you or your, if you're getting divorced, not getting divorced, prenup, getting married, whatever it might be. And then the Facebook group, Colorado's #1 referral group. Is that what it's called again?
Or top referral group.
Top referral group. So then we name the Facebook group, get them in there. Lina, do you kick people out of the Facebook group if they're not good?
Yes, we have to kick people out.
Okay, so people get kicked out. Okay, perfect. And the criteria, like to say get kicked out, like why would I get removed? I didn't pay my $100, or I just did a bad service, or I just don't. Why do I get kicked out?
No, that wasn't it. I think we had to kind of restructure a little bit because people stopped showing up, right? Like they got comfortable that they were getting referred and they just stopped showing up. So I had to send out like a nasty, message through Facebook. Like if you missed more than 3 meetings in a row, and I get it, people go on vacation, but you have to put some sort of effort, right? To be in the group.
No, I deal with it. I mean, HOAs is the same thing, philanthropic things. I mean, we're trying to help, kids, and I can't get people to show up to the board of directors meeting, right? And I'm just like, so I get it, right? You have to have covenants almost, because otherwise, you said it best, people get comfortable. They go, I'm good. I already know what to expect. They're going to be fine. But then the whole thing dies if you don't keep that standard and that rhythm up.
Yeah, and I think, like, for me, there's some key people in that group that, it's important for me to stay in front of. So for me, it's more
because they're a big connector for you. They send you a lot of business people,
right? And I think long term, there's huge potential, right? So like again, like my attorney's office. Besides the fact that they refer me business, I've almost sold every attorney in that firm a house at this point, right? I'm just trying to get my money back I've given them over the years.
It's all reciprocal, right? It's all reciprocal.
Yeah. So I don't feel so bad, but and like the estate attorney. So that's a huge one. If you're going to start any kind of referral group, I think, those are 2 key factors you want to have in there. I think a CPA. And in our business, you need to have a roofer in there, electrician, plumber, and HVAC for sure.
Was there anyone you were missing, Lina, that you wanted that you didn't have a relationship with? So like, let's say if I'm Sally in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I'm going, I don't know an estate attorney. Was there any categories like that where you had to go and kind of go, I'm going to go find one and bring them into the group? Or did you kind of already always have a list because your network is so strong?
We did have a financial advisor. I think that's a tough one, right? Because I think there's just different levels of financial advisors, right?
Yeah. So if I don't have one of those on your list, and all of those you named were bangers, right? Again, estate attorney, financial advisor, divorce attorney, I think is just so smart, just huge. Then you did have to go seek out the financial advisor, and then you just go, hey, someone told me you were good and we have this referral group. Like how did you approach that?
No, actually, like the dentist in our group was like, hey, I have a great financial advisor. Can I bring him? And she brought him to one of the meetings, and the guy was super intelligent. And so we're good fit. Yeah, we like him,
Cool. Okay, good. Okay. That's extremely helpful. Okay.
Because I think it's good to have the people. Like if you get them involved, then it's not just like the Lina group, right? Sure. So you want to kind of ask people that are in the group, like if you feel like somebody would be a great fit, because that way I feel like they feel important.
Absolutely. Of course. I mean? Yeah. Who do I care most about? Me. Right. Like, I mean, that's just human nature. I'm not saying me because I'm me, but right. Like we care about ourselves and the value that we bring. And I'm sure you have some people in that group that are, you're very, very chatty, and you probably got introverts, that don't really, talk as much. And it's the whole community that makes it fun. Well, that was awesome. I think the listeners, if I'm hearing this and I think it's loud and clear, is going, you can be 99% referral based and still do a massive book of business. There's these inner strategies inside of that where it's obviously the key one today is, start a referral group and make sure that you have your community of top professionals involved on a monthly basis. And do all these people that you invite to, Lina, just to close the loop, they get invited to the Top Golf and Dave and Buster's and all of that stuff as well?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they're in the whole 46 touch community, right? Regardless.
Yes.
Gosh,
Correct.
so smart. So smart. All right. Well, that was huge. Thank you. I think, again, and then were you scared for the first one? Was there any anxiety? Or are you kind of like, I hope this works? Or did you just kind of knew you're like, I don't care. Either way, it's going to be good for some of us. Like, how was your mindset? Were you nervous?
No, I wasn't nervous because this is a worst case scenario. It's just another touch, right? It's a cheap way for me to stay in front of the people I want to stay in front of. And then, for example, like I don't even know what you call them, an accident attorney. What do you call those? Personal injury.
Personal injury. Yep.
Yeah. So I have a personal injury attorney in there as well. Super cool guy. And I was like, hey, let us buy you lunch. And, you have 20 employees at your office. Let me and Olga come in. Olga's my lender.
Yep.
Come in and meet the people that work at your office, right? So those are just like easy way
one
to
step
kind of
leads
get
to the next step.
Yeah. So it's just, like I said, it's, I think one thing that I've learned over the years from coaching with you, I'll give you another shout out, is that if you, I think for so many years, I sat there and tried to make something perfect before I pulled the trigger on it, which meant that nothing was ever really getting done. So if you're waiting for something to be perfect, it's never going to happen. So you just kind of have to try it. Like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, or try a couple more times or keep, doing it. Like we had a big failure a month ago. We tried to do a seller seminar and we had 0 people come. And so we ended up, taping some videos that we're going to, release to like YouTube and stuff like that. But I was like, okay, something didn't jive.
Right.
We technically did what we were supposed to do, but it didn't work. Right. So, we got to try it again.
Exactly. Yeah. You learn. And that's what I think some people are so scared. Or if we know people are crushing it with seller seminars, we know it exists. We know it's happened. We know people have a lot of value with it. There's just like the same thing with golden letters or expireds. There's all these nuances. And it's like the first time you call expireds, you learn a lot, right? In that 1 second. The first time you send out your golden letter, if it doesn't work, or I just had a guest on with platinum letter, which we'll be talking about here in the future, which is really cool. Another spin on the golden letter. All of these different things, you got to jump in the pool. Just go for it. Like cannonball. And you're not either you're going to learn from it at best. You're going to get some more experience reps. But I think that's what comes across loud and clear is your courage to do these things has grown so rapidly over the time that I've known you. And it's inspirational. So because you're super busy and I know you probably have a listing appointment this afternoon, let's get into our beast mode segment. So every episode we go to beast mode. Mode is just an acronym. So we're going to start with the M. Tell me about your most memorable listing appointment, or just a funny one or a heartwarming one. Tell me about your one great listing appointment that comes to mind.
I'm going to keep it PG.
Please. Well, you can go PG-13, right?
So actually, ironically, I just sold this home like a week ago, but these were pretty good clients of mine. I actually sold their mom's house, I think like 3 years ago, and it was a referral from my estate attorney, how it all kind of comes full circle. But really nice gentleman. He's in his 70s. For the last 3 years has been telling me that he is ready to list his home. So I've been going out there, doing the walkthrough with him, giving him a list of homework that needed to be done. And, another year would pass and another year would pass. And so I think a year and a half ago, finally, we've got the listing agreement signed and I got my contractors out there and we, put in I had people put in new countertops, new tile. We painted his house. We redid his master bathroom, all this stuff. And then we made it so nice that his wife is like, I don't want to move to Florida.
Oh, man. It happens, and right?
I seriously was like, are you effing kidding me? Right? Right. And so now, again, like I just told you, I actually just closed them a week ago, finally.
Yeah. So this was like how long ago when this
was happened? Like a year and a half ago that I remodeled everything.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so
And that's what
I
happens
was,
on that remodel. They start to clean out their house and get it all cleaned up. And then they're like, should we still move? Right. I forgot that our house could actually not be what it is now. Right. So they get kind of interesting. All right. Wow. So go on.
yeah. So I just, it was an interesting one for me because I was like, and I mean, I like the people. They're super nice, and, um, but I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I've been
Right.
out here like 5 different times,
Did they end up
I
going to
mean,
Florida after all?
yeah, they bought a house in Florida
They went to
and
Florida.
they're moving, but, and we ended up getting multiple offers in this market and getting them 40 grand over asking in this market
Nice.
because of all the stuff I had them do.
Right. Right.
And
That's
in
awesome.
reality, I think it was so because they had lived in the house for like 25 years. I think truly like it just even with all the stuff I was able to help them with, there was a lot of stuff they had to do, right? Like with decluttering and throwing stuff out. I just think it was so overwhelming for them that they just kept putting it off,
Right. Right.
you
And
know?
that's where I think you find pure joy, of course, too, is just going, you just got to trust you're going to get there. What me and you talk about all the time. It's not if, it's when, right? It ain't if they're going to sell, it's when they're going to sell. And, of course, we're trying to use our strategies to spend the time with the people that are actually going to sell. But your relationships have carried through. So you have that confidence that no, you've provided them value. When they're ready, it's going to be with Lina, which is awesome. So let's get into number 2. Talk to me about one key. The O in beast mode is obstacle you've overcome as a listing agent specific. What do you think is one obstacle you've overcome?
Oh gosh. I think because I was in REO for so many years, and as you know, REO, there's absolutely no relationship building other than really you're building a relationship with the
The asset
corporation,
manager.
right? With
Yeah.
the asset manager. But there's no like you're not doing mailers, you're not following up with them,
You're
you
not
don't
having,
have any
Dave and
activities.
Buster's. Yeah.
Right. And so when that faucet got turned off, I think that was probably the biggest obstacle for me is to pivot from that REO world into um, traditional real estate because I had like no CRM. I had no um, follow up
monthly
system.
mailer. Yeah. Monthly
Yeah.
mailer, your calendar that you send out every year to your clients, right? Like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That had to be a very scary moment. So did you just model off of someone else and you said, or you just go, you know what? I'm just going to rock and roll. What made you kind of think about the next steps?
Um, I think I just kind of pushed through it. I mean, I think I had
Yeah.
enough repeat clients that I was selling so many foreclosures to that were flipping them that kind of kept me afloat for the first, so long because there was still a certain amount of business that was being done.
Sure.
Right. But yeah, it was definitely a scary time.
Yeah, well, you did great, and now it's just amazing to see what you've built, and everyone heard in the intro all the wonderful stats. Um, let's go to the D. Deliver one piece of advice to that listing agent, that future listing beast that's listening out there. What's one advice that you would give to become a better listing agent, listing beast, or just overall agent?
I think start coaching with like right out of the gate.
Mm,
I think I had to undo so many bad habits um, when I started coaching with you, and I think if you just start coaching right away and make sure you have a CRM. I think that's probably the other thing, but start coaching so you don't pick up any of those bad habits and you just come out of the gate, doing the things that you need to do.
I love that. Yeah, I think it's always tough. I think we're both, we've come from very similar backgrounds where it wasn't maybe, this golden spoon that we didn't have. And we've always just been willing to learn, right? I think me and you are both. We've always talked about it. We talk about what's the new thing, what's the new thing, who's doing something better than what we're doing, and how can we figure out how to adapt it and do it. And so I think that's a really great piece of advice. And then last one, the E. What are you most excited for the future? What are you excited about that's coming up next in your world?
I think well, my goal is to obviously increase my volume for the year
Okay.
and I'm still, I do a lot of flips, and so I want to, keep growing that side of it. I really enjoy remodeling homes and, just taking something that's ugly and just making it beautiful. I like there's something in that just, I just absolutely love. And so I think just growing both sides of that this year. So my kiddo is kind of getting older and I can concentrate more on growing. I think that's the E.
I love it. I love it. So if I'm listening to this and I want to send clients your way, obviously you're in the Denver metro area. Are you also looking for fix and flip opportunities currently? Is that something, if anyone has any flip
Yeah,
opportunities?
always.
Always looking for flip
Somebody
opportunities.
has, estate sales. If they just, unfortunately somebody passed away and they just want to get rid of the property as is. I tend to really like those properties, a lot. But yeah, anything that needs some fix up, I'm in the market always. So
I love
if
it.
I'm
I
not in
love
the
it.
market, I have a group of, a line of investors that will grab it. So
Yeah, and we'll have all of your contact information in the episode details, and people can connect with you. And I just think, first of all, thank you. You provided so much value. Me and you were talking before we jumped on, and it's kind of going. We don't really think sometimes of the stuff that we've really done well at times, and it's like when you hear about this referral group, we kind of just sometimes could blow right past it, but going. There's so much in that just seems so subtle, like it should be a no-brainer. And then I love the honesty about, look, we want to do seller seminars. Tried the first one, nobody came. Does it mean seller seminars don't work? No. Does it mean maybe what we did maybe didn't get the right results, or timing, or market, or communication? All of that, but you gotta get up to bat and swing, right? You're swinging, and I think that's what's
yeah,
so cool, right? It's like can't sit there and I've done the same thing. I've had training seminars, webinars where no one showed up or 4 people showed up and I thought it was going to be 400. And I'm just going, so it must be something I did, right? Like I got to fix it and you learn, which I think is really powerful. So I'm really impressed.
I think one of the biggest things though too somebody can take away from this is the referral group is one thing, but the fact that you're going through your database and you're reaching out to people and you're saying, hey, I know that you own a roofing company, and I'm thinking about you and I want you in this group. I think probably means more
Yeah.
than
How can
you
I
think.
help you grow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
That's huge.
um, so, just think of it as even another touch, right? And even if they say no, that's, you just reached out to that client, right?
Yeah.
Um,
They get a
that's,
Lina ding, right? It's like, ding. I
yeah.
remember Lina, right? Super powerful. Yeah.
So just look at it that way. Just think of it as, I think when you take out when you're genuine in the things that you do, right? And like I just reached out to a client of mine that owns a vet clinic, right? I went to see her and say hi. She was telling me how they're a little bit slow because there's so many vet clinics over in that area and stuff. And I said, well, what if I, do a mailer for you to my sphere? Can I say, hey, if you mention Lina, you get, 10% off your first visit or whatever
Yeah.
it is, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, absolutely. So it helps me and it helps her, right?
Right.
Um, so I do that even with my roofing contractors. I've sent out a mailer to my sphere where I said, hey, there was a storm in your area. If you want a free roof inspection, call this guy, mention my name, and it's free. Now it's free anyways, right?
Sure.
But they think it's free because of me.
Yes. Yeah.
And
It's
so I'm
marketing. Yeah. You've really been mastering that art of connectivity, referrals, and win-wins. These are all just win-wins. You win, she wins, and then hopefully she reciprocates and you continue to win. So just absolutely brilliant. Well, we'll have you back on here in the future, Lina. Thank you for being a listing beast. Thank you for inspiring others to become a listing beast like you. And it's been an absolute honor. And thank you for being on the show.
Brendan, I love you to death. And
Go on.
People should be. I would definitely check out your the Listing Beast. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to check it out, but I'm a part of it, and it's amazing. So
Thank
you're
you. Well,
right.
that means the world to me. So thank you again, Lina. You're amazing. We'll see you next time on the Listing Beast podcast. Thanks, everyone. If today's video helped you level up your listing game, hit that subscribe button right now. You'll get instant access to weekly strategies that'll get you more listings, help you make more per client, and receive endless referrals from raving fans. And if you're dead serious about making $100K every month from listings, head straight to listingbeast.com to book a call with my team. Our proven listing certification program can take your business from good to unstoppable. I'm Brendan Bardick, and I'll see you in the next one.